Hey, how's it going everybody? Cardtrix 8 here. In today's video, I will be performing to you and teaching to you an absolutely amazing card trick as always. Now, this one is going to be geared more toward you beginners out there because it is a very simple card trick and it's one of those you really can't screw up. But hold up. Hold up. If you are an advanced magician, if you are an expert, if you are just amazing at everything when it comes to playing cards, and you think to yourself, Cardtrix 8, come on, this is a beginner card trick, I'm too good for that stuff, so, I'm out of here. No, don't you dare click away, because not only do I want the viewership, but no, it's actually in your best interest, because this trick, despite its simplicity, is actually extremely effective. It will fool lots and lots of people. Take it from me. I've been around card magic for a while now, but no matter how many times I watched the performance of the trick that you're about to see in about a minute, I could not figure it out for the life of me. I just couldn't get it. And then when I learned how to do it, I was pissed off because it was really just that simple. So, yeah, again, it may be very simple, but you're going to fool a lot of people with this one. I think you guys are really going to love this trick. So, I'm going to shut up now and let's get straight into the performance. Okay, so for this trick, all I'm going to be needing is a regular pack of cards. Once we have this deck, all I'm going to do is go ahead and shuffle the cards multiple times to make sure the cards are completely mixed up. And I'll even let my spectator go ahead and mix up the cards. They say trust everyone but cut the cards. So I'll ask my spectator to cut the cards and complete the cut. I'll actually have them go ahead and cut the cards and complete the cut again. In fact, the spectators can go ahead and cut the cards as many times as they like until they are satisfied. So once they are satisfied, we can move on. So what we'll actually do here is shuffle the cards up even more, because sometimes I do have some, skeptics and some hecklers who don't think the deck is really mixed. So I will proceed to go ahead and mix up the deck until the spectator is thoroughly satisfied. But once they are happy, I'm going to demonstrate a new skill that I've learned recently. And this skill is just by dribbling the cards and just by feeling the weight of the cards, I can tell you exactly how many cards I'm holding. So let me give you guys a quick example. If I dribble the cards, just feel, I can tell you I'm holding 52 cards. You're not impressed, are you? Okay, let me give you guys a real example here. So really, I'll have my spectator go ahead and just cut off as many cards as they'd like. It doesn't matter how many cards that they cut off. So let's just say my spectator cuts off this amount of cards as so. And again, they really could have cut off as many cards as they wanted. But I'm just going to feel the cards here and see if I can guess approximately how many cards that I am holding. This is tough. I'm going to say 29 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I'm going to give you guys one more example here. Cut the cards. And now once again, the spectator is going to cut over as many cards as they'd like off the top of the deck as so. Once they've cut off the amount that they want, then I'm going to proceed. So I just dribble. I feel, let me dribble again here. This is, alright, a little tough on this one. It's a little less. I can definitely tell it's less, but it's tough. I'm going to say 20 cards this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So anyways, guys, that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So now let's get straight into the tutorial. Alright guys, hopefully you stuck around for the tutorial. I think I stressed it enough in the beginning that this trick is extremely easy to do and you pretty much cannot mess it up. All you need are two things to perform this card trick. You need a regular deck of cards and you also need to be able to calculate basic mental math. For those of you who didn't exactly pass 3rd grade math, then maybe this video isn't for you, and yeah, I'll see you next time. But for those of you who are actually smart, let's continue. Okay, so once you have your deck, you're going to be using a very old principle in card magic to help you carry out this effect. And all it requires is to set up your deck in the Sai Stebbins stack. Now, for those of you guys who do not know what the size step and stack is, it's where the entire deck runs in chased order. That is clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds, and the cards go up by 3 card intervals. With that said, I'm going to go over how to set up the deck in the size step and stack right now. But I know a lot of you guys are already familiar with the size step and stack. So if you already know how to set up the deck, just fast forward to this time right here, and that will start explaining how the actual trick is done. But of course, if you don't know how to do the stack, then watch what I'm about to show you. So in order to set the cards up in the size step and stack, you are going to do as follows. You are going to take all of the cards and you're going to separate them by suit. So you have all the clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds in their own piles. And you're going to put every single pile in ace to king order as so, with the king on the top as so. Once you have all of the piles like that, you're going to take just the ace from the clubs pile and move it to the top. Just like that. In the hearts pile, you're going to take the ace through 4 and move them to the top, as so. As far as the spades go, you're going to go ace through 7, move those to the top, and then come over to the diamonds, and you're going to go ace through 10, move those to the top. Once you have moved the cards to the appropriate positions, now you are going to stack the deck. Starting with clubs, you're going to stack the deck. So you have clubs, then you deal the heart, then you deal the spade, then you deal the diamond, then you deal the club, then you deal the heart, then you deal the spade, then you throw the diamond. And basically you're just going to continue going throughout all of the cards until there are no more cards left and they're all in one pile, setting the entire deck up in the size step and stack. Obviously you get the point, so now let's just skip ahead. So now that you have the cards in size step and stack, you are ready to perform. So what you're going to do is you're going to introduce the deck to your spectator, and you're going to show off all the cards as completely mixed up, and they aren't in any particular order. Well, obviously they are in a particular order. They are in size step and stack. So the way you're going to show off the deck is you don't want to spread through all the cards like this, otherwise they will be able to see the whole red black pattern, and that might give something away. What you want to do is when you're showing off the cards, you want to just block push groups of cards as so, and this will show off all the cards as mixed up and not necessarily give away the whole red black sequence. So let me show you a contrast, spreading the cards like this as opposed to showing this. You can see the difference where when you just spread out all the cards, the sequence of red black will not be given away, but it won't be given away if you just go ahead and block push all of the cards. So from here you're going to proceed to mix up the deck. So what you guys saw in the performance is a mimic of an overhand shuffle. So this will pass off as an overhand shuffle to pretty much every spectator you perform to, but when you think about it, since I'm doing one block at a time, all I'm really doing is just cutting the cards. And in case you didn't know this, cutting the cards and completing the cut one at a time will not disturb the size step and stack. So again, you can cut the cards and complete the cut very, very cleanly, but this will not disturb size step and stack. It will still remain in sequence. So I'll be mixing up the cards as so, but in reality I'm just going one at a time, so I'm just cutting the cards. But again, this will easily pass off to any spectator as a normal overhand shuffle. And after I've overhand shuffled a few times, I will allow my spectators to go ahead and cut the cards and complete the cut as many times as they wish. So they can do this one time, they can do this a million times. It doesn't matter how many times they cut the cards, but once they're satisfied, we can proceed with this trick. So once the spectator is satisfied with how much they've cut the cards, you want to get a glimpse at the bottom card and see if it happens to be a king. You want a king to be on the bottom of the deck for mathematical reasons, which I will get into a little bit later on in the video. But the more likely scenario is that this won't be a king, because there's only 4 kings in a deck of playing cards. So, if it is not a king, do not worry. So for starters, you're going to pick up the deck, and you're going to do a little 180-degree turn to see if it happens to be a king. If it's not a king, you're going to do as follows. You're going to give the cards that overhand shuffle that I showed you before, and you're just going to keep mixing up the cards until a king pops up, and that's perfect, a king pops up. So once you get a king right there on the bottom, you can square up, set the cards down, and then move on. But now let's talk about two other things here. If there is a king at the bottom to begin with, then you're good. You don't need to do anything. You can just set the cards down. But one other thing I'd like to talk about here is sometimes the king won't be at the bottom, so you're going to proceed to do the overhand shuffle that I showed you. But sometimes, no matter how many times you cut the cards in your fake overhand shuffle, sometimes a king just won't pop up, and you don't want to just sit there shuffling and shuffling and shuffling and shuffling the cards, because if a king's not going to pop up after a while, you're just dragging out the trick for way too long, and spectators are going to get bored, and they might be suspicious as to why you're shuffling the cards so much. So after a while, if a king is just refusing to move itself to the bottom, all you simply need to do is just spread through the cards to show once again the cards are mixed up, and when you see a king, keep your finger near it so you don't lose it, and then just casually cut the king to the bottom. So again, regardless, in the end, just get a king to the bottom of the deck. So now this is the part where you're going to be able to determine exactly how many cards the spectator cuts off. Again, it requires some mathematics, but it's basic stuff. It shouldn't be that hard. So you're going to have your spectator go ahead and cut off as many cards as they'd like from the top of the deck. They really can cut off as many cards as they want. It does not matter. The only thing you need to do to determine how many cards they've cut off is get a glimpse of the bottom card of the packet that they just cut off. So in this case, it's the Jack of Diamonds, and I will explain exactly how you're going to use this card to determine the amount of cards that you're holding. So now I'm going to go over the rules on the mathematics. You're going to start off by taking the value of the card that they cut to and subtracting it from 13. 13 because of the king that you cut to the bottom earlier. So you subtract the value they cut to from 13. You get a result. You take the result and you multiply it by 4. This will now give you a new result. And this is the crucial point in time that will help you determine how many cards you're holding in your hand. You want to think about that result that you've arrived at. And you want to take a look at the cards that you're holding. And you want to think, is the value that I'm at right now look like roughly the amount of cards I'm holding? If you answer yes to that question, then you are correct. You stop and you say, okay, spectator, I'm holding X amount of cards, deal down the cards, and you will be correct. But sometimes you may look at the pile in your hand and the value that you've arrived at, and you're going to say, no, the cards that I'm holding, this is definitely a significantly less portion or a significantly larger portion. If that happens, you are going to calculate some more math, and it will go a little something like this. If you can tell that you're holding way less cards than the number that you're at, you're going to subtract 13 until the number you're at looks like the amount of cards that you're holding in your hand. But if you're holding a much bigger portion, you're going to keep adding 13 as many times as you need to until the value that you're at looks like the amount of cards you're holding. Once the value that you reach looks like the amount of cards you're holding, that's it. It'll mathematically always be correct. That will be the amount of cards that you're holding. So let's take a look at an example. Remember before, I cut to a jack. Now the jack has the value of 11. So in my mind, I'm going to do 13 minus 11, which is 2. I do 2 times 4 is 8. So now I think to myself, does this look like 8 cards? I can tell this is definitely way more than 8 cards. So I'm going to add 13 to that. So if I add 13 to 8, that would be 21. Correct? I just want to make sure you got it. Yeah, 21. That would be 21 cards. And now I think to myself, does this look like 21 cards? And in fact, this does look like roughly 21 cards. So I would stop and say, okay, Spectator, I'm holding 21 cards. And then you would count. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So you can see just like that, we are correct. And one quick tip, or it's really a necessity rather than a tip, is if you want to perform this again, which I usually like to, make sure that you reverse count the cards again, because if you don't remember to reverse count them back, then that will throw off the size step order, and of course you don't want that. And the easy justification for reversing the cards a second time is saying to your spectator, let's count the cards one more time to make sure it's correct. Or you can even have them count the cards. So let's look at one more example. The spectator cuts the cards. I pick it up, get a glimpse at the bottom card in slow motion. So we can see it's a 9. So in my head, I do 13 minus 9 is 4. Then I do 4 times 4 is 16. Look at the cards in my hand and think to myself, am I holding 16 cards? I can tell this is definitely more than 16 cards. So I'm going to add 13 from where I'm at. So I do 16 plus 13 is 29. Now I think to myself, does this look like 29 cards? And sure enough, it does look like 29 cards. So I should count, and this should be 29 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. And you can see we are correct again. So that's pretty much all there is to it. The size, step, and stack, and basic mathematics. But with that said, that is pretty much it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Cardtrix 8 signing off.